Now, excuse me for what just happened. I need y'all to understand what's going on here. And I want you to understand this clearly. There's an attack against the word. Get me Amos 8 and 11. There's an attack against the word, and then I'll go into the lesson. We were just on a browser, and I recorded a response to YouTube, and they didn't allow me to archive it. The page was cut off in half purposely so that I could not archive it and upload it. So actually, it looks like they're trying to stop us from archiving also. This is what's going on. And I told people a long time ago, brothers and sisters, that it's going to come a time we wouldn't be able to do this. And I can see they're dealing with censorship on a small level right now. They're tinkering so that people can just give up altogether. They understand that the majority of people out there, because they've trained us so well, have an attention span of about 2 minutes. And if things don't go the way we need it to go in 2 minutes as far as visual, we usually go on to the next thing. Alright? So they made it so that their censorship is frustrating you so that you can go into something else. But you have to be patient and just go through it. That's why, regardless of how many times they cancel our YouTube page for absolutely nothing at all, we just put up another page. Why? Because we did nothing wrong. And if we stop based on what they're doing, then that means they have won. We have to be patient, long-suffering, and persevere. Okay? Because we might as well try to fight to get this information out knowing soon they're going to cut it off anyway. So we're going to try to flood the world with as much information as possible so that when you no longer see us or hear us, you'll have enough to meet us if it be the Lord's will. Alright? And you'll have enough to pass to others. Read Amos 8 and 11. Read.
Amos chapter 8 verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High Power.
The days come, saith the Most High God. Read.
That I will send a famine in the land.
The Most High says he will send a famine in the land. Now mind you, the world is beginning in a famine as we speak. Like you read in Matthew the 24th chapter, and you read in Revelations. Okay, the fact that the sea creatures will be destroyed, and a certain number of mankind will be destroyed, and also of the sea and of the earth will be destroyed. What is that? That's a famine. That's coming. And if you don't, and brothers and sisters, look at your receipts. Look at your receipts. On our new page, I actually put up something from the NIA that shows you what's going on in our society on a monetary level. Everything is increasing. You're being squeezed monetarily. If you're squeezed financially, then you can't move, you can't make any moves, you can't think, you can't do anything. So they're squeezing you monetarily to keep you still. And when you're still and you're complacent, they'll be able to incite you through all types of psychological attacks, like empowering the police to do things to you, to antagonize you, to force you into fighting authority, to make you a criminal. Why? So you can work in this industrial complex, this criminal industrial complex, and become a prisoner and work for free. The new slavery, in which everyone out there is guilty. You're born guilty so you can work in a slave society. Okay? So we put that out there so you can understand what's going on. You're being squeezed purposely. You have policemen that are scared for their jobs because they cannot write enough tickets for their quotas. They don't write tickets, then they stand a chance of losing their jobs. That's what's paying their salary. What pressure? They're doing this on purpose. You're being squeezed. You're getting tickets, bills, everything you get here, and then you have no jobs. So they're forcing people into a revolutionary posture for martial law. This is what's going on in the earth. They don't want you to talk about this. They want you to talk about what's going on on the View, and or who's America's next top idol, or something other than what we should be focusing on. We're being squeezed. Who's squeezing us? We've been revealing this. A famine in the land, read.
Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water.
So right now you have bread and water, but what?
But of hearing the words of the Most High.
Of what?
But of hearing the words of the Most High.
Soon there'll be a famine of hearing the words of the Most High. That's what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. They didn't take down the gathering of Christ because we are offending the community, which is a small little speck in the YouTube community. The YouTube community have over 1 billion channels. See, but they got a little afraid, not from us, but from the network of reaching out, and people are waking up and coming out of satanic religion, and they're coming out of government and corporate programming. They can't have that. They seen within 1 year, one of the videos got over 1 million views. Was on its way to about 1.5 million views in less than a year. Why? Because people want truth. People start asking, like, all this information was in the Bible the whole time? Why aren't we learning anything in church? Where was this information? It was there the whole time. Just your preachers don't know. And they're paid not to know. So they're going to come against us. So the Lord says there's going to be a famine in the land. Now, as long as we're not out there and the truth is not out there, they will continue to allow preachers to teach. Joel Osteen and all these guys, these guys will be preaching until Christ returns. Why? They're not giving you any information according to the Bible. You don't know who you are. You don't know why we're in this condition. You don't know the future according to the Bible. You don't know that governments are satanic and being ruled by Satan. And they're looking to wipe out humanity. You don't know this. You're taught in churches, well, it don't matter because as long as God love me, I'll die and go to heaven. And therefore you will ignore your place within the earth and your purpose within the earth. It does matter. And if it didn't matter, what we're teaching, if it didn't matter, guess what? We would not have been canceled if it didn't matter. Read it again.
Amos chapter 8 verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land.
Go ahead.
Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Most High.
But of hearing the words of the Most High. This world is about to go through a famine. Of hearing the true words of the Most High. It's coming. Now I know a lot of you saying, well, I don't know, I don't know if this is going to come to pass. Let me tell you. When Barack Obama first was on the ballot, probably a little over 2 years ago, when he was growing steam and no one knew who he was, we told people, listen, this guy going to be president. He's going to be exactly what the doctor ordered, and he's going to sell the poor people down the river. It's like, yeah, he's going to be elected, but he's in the spirit of Antichrist. We told everyone that he's the perfect person for the perfect time. And everything that's wrong with the world will be blamed on him. Even though George Bush set him up to fail from the beginning. No one is looking at Bush now, are they? They're looking at Barack Obama. Why? Because he promised a change that he don't have the power to bring forth. He don't have the power. And we told people, the only thing he did was make the poor complacent and think that you had help in the White House. So now you did nothing at all. You didn't believe in this system. You knew that things was wrong. You was willing to deal with alternatives based on what government was doing, and they gave you a black face. And we told you, this guy is going to be worse than George Bush, because now you can't complain. You have a black president. We told you. Now look at what's going on now. You're being squeezed. We're telling you right now, it's only going to get worse. Things will not get better. This Republican, switch from Republican, Democrat, it's all garbage. They're all the same. No sooner, right after the election, they started censoring it on YouTube under the Lieberman bill to change the internet, to try to say that there's terrorist guys linked to Al-Qaeda and all this garbage, to stop people from using their freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is the weapon that's used against powers. Now you can't speak out, or they're going to connect you to a group that don't exist. They're prepping people to accept. I'm talking about the layman. They're going to go against leaders out there, teachers, true teachers, and they're going to link them to a group that don't exist. And the people like cattle are going to look at it and be like, well, yeah. There is no such thing as that garbage they saying that terrorists, Al-Qaeda. There's no such thing as none of that. They're going to try to attach leaders to that garbage so that there'll be a famine in the earth. That's what's going on here. And the famine, like it says in Amos, is from hearing the words of the Most High. Let's go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Let's get into the word now. Now, outside of that, because I'm done with that, last weekend we taught in the class, and we did an overview in the class showing that there's no such thing as planets. There is no Mars, there is no Jupiter, there is no Saturn. Okay? Now, when we brought this forth, I want to clear something up. Some people might ask, well, if you get a telescope and look out in space, we can see these things. Yes, you can see stars. That's what they are. They are stars. That's what was created in the beginning. Okay? There's no such thing as planets. Planets. The word planet itself came from the Greeks. Why? Because they were following and worshiping fallen angels, gods that came down to earth and bare children that was called Titans. And the Greek families, the Caesars and the Greek families, was reared from these hybrid beings, humans or so-called men and women mixed with the seed of gods. The seed of gods. Okay? So that's what they believe, that's what they worship, and they actually believe in dying and being cremated and living in the underworld. The underworld is hell. That's the underworld. And the Bible is against cremation. Everyone should go back to the dust in which they've come, the earth. Everyone should go back to the earth, because one day they will use that same body. They will live in that same body when the Most High change it, that will come from the grave. Everyone is supposed to be buried, but they desecrate the bodies. That's sacrificing themselves, even while they're dead, to the gods. And they will roam the underworld. Who's in the underworld? The father of demons, the gods that came down and slept with women. You can read this in the book of Enoch. These are the gods that are being worshipped in the earth today under the Roman Catholic Church, through Islam. These demons, with knowledge of past history, have given governments technology, power, wisdom, psychology, sorcery. And we're revealing these things. And these are the powers that are controlling world governments today. Let me tell you, people are not that smart. They're smart, but they're not that smart. They seem that smart. Einstein wasn't that smart. He was a sorcerer. He received angel technology by doing satanic rituals, making 5-pointed stars with fire in it and sacrificing things and humans and all types of mess they were dealing with. So that demons can come and give them revelation of history, give them understanding of psychology and science to control people. Read Ephesians 6 and 12. Read it.
Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12.
Go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
We're not wrestling against flesh and blood, people. Read.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
The rulers of the darkness of what?
Of this world.
Of what?
Of this world.
That's what's controlling the powers of this world. That is what your preachers and your reverends in your churches should be teaching. That the governments and powers of this world are being ruled by dark forces. Read.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
What?
Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. So the higher you go up, the more wicked it is. Your government powers, that's who are ruling you. Only a wicked deity in high places would set legislation forth to say it's okay to spray people with barium and aluminum and to kill people through chemtrails. People were living fine before that mess. And then, through their satanic sorcery they call psychology, they can spin the news and make you think that's good for you, to protect you from global warming. Listen, we have never had a problem with the sun. We are the children of the sun. We live in the east. The sun is no problem, have no problem with us, and we have no problem with the sun. Don't let them pull that over on you. Well, it's too many, what they call it, the gases, the greenhouse gases. We having a greenhouse gases problem. Like the everyday Joe, the garbage man, going to understand that. Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's good. They protect us from the greenhouse gases. It's a campaign to kill people. But they know that you're not smart enough because you think they're good for you. They're shutting down people that are growing organic food. Now, let's make this clear. All food at one point was organic. It shouldn't be no other type of food but organic. So the fact that food is titled organic shows that you have wicked and evil powers over us selling us food that's killing us. Common sense. Isn't everything organic? Yes. So why should I have to go to a certain store to eat natural food? Because the wicked powers that rule are killing the people. These are the powers we're wrestling against. Now, not only are they killing the people, this strategic aim is towards one people, the children of Israel. The numbers don't lie. You cannot tell me, out of all the people in America, that 8 out of 10 people that commit crimes are minorities. But yet 80% of the people in prisons are what? Minorities. So something is aimed towards these people. Wake up. This is the war against the serpent seed and the woman seed. And we're going to continue to bring forth this understanding and expose the destruction of God's people. And we're going to expose who's doing it. All we have is our freedom to talk about this, to let others know that we were born in a war. Period. Spraying the skies, killing us, feeding us poison. All your drinks and everything you're drinking got aspartame in it. Aspartame was outlawed during the 80s, during the Jimmy Carter administration. Why? Because it was proven to kill rats. It put skulls and brains. But yet they brought forth the legislation a few years later to allow all your drinks to have aspartame and your food to have aspartame in it. And aspartame is not a sweetener. They actually sweeten it up to use it as a substitute for sugar because you're used to sugar in powder form. These are the same people and the same powers that are poisoning your waters. They are against the Most High's creation. Come to find out, fluoride, your body naturally makes fluoride. They put fluoride in toothpaste, saying, don't you need your teeth clean? We had clean teeth and a full mouth of clean teeth before there was any such thing as fluoride toothpaste. Well, fluoride is good for you. 9 out of 10 dentists, those 9 out of 10 was paid by the powers that are destroying people. 9 out of 10 dentists say, let's deal with fluoride, killing our people. Then, that wasn't good enough, because people started understanding that fluoride actually caused neurological damages and messes up your brain. They started regulating putting fluoride in water to kill you that way. So your running water have fluoride in it. We're not wrestling with flesh and blood, folks. So, what I'm saying here is we have to understand we're in a war and who's fighting against us. Speaking of wars, the Bible says that there shall be wars and rumors of wars. Why is it that the majority of people that are dying in the wars are the people that are suffering in the country? So now they got a double whammy on our people. They destroy them in the neighborhoods. Then they'll promise you something and have you go to war to fight to make the rich rich. Then you die or come back with all types of mental disorders. And none of these cats that are proclaiming war and executing war are sending their children to these same wars. These are the powers we're working against. These powers have made us war against each other and have us war for them. They could care less about you. They want you dead. And we have to proclaim this. And we have to identify who's doing this. And because we started touching these sensitive areas, serpent seed, what people controlling, and then we told you follow the money. Because the agenda is financed. In a capitalistic society, you cannot push forth any agenda unless there's finances behind it. You find out who's bankrolling it, and you'll know who's against you. Easy. So now we are a problem. Read it again.
Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we want against, brothers and sisters. Okay. Now, going back to the lesson the other day, we went into the fact that there's no such thing as planets. These are stars that came down. They're called wandering stars. It was called wandering stars. And they came down and slept with women. Now, the reason a lot of us don't know this history is because we receive our religious education from the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church taught once that the seeds of Seth, daughters, slept with the children of Cain to make you think the sons of God was people. And in fact, that's a lie. They're really hiding the gods they're worshiping in their churches. The fallen angels. Okay. Let me see this. Okay, one moment. Okay. Well, we're going to ask you all to, a matter of fact, let me turn off the chat and we can open this up for questions after the class. So let me turn off the chat one moment. we're going to turn off the chat for a minute, and we'll deal with the chat after class. Okay? Now, the Roman Catholic Church started teaching that the sons of Seth came down, went and slept with the children of Cain, and had nothing to do with that. The sons of God it's speaking of in the Bible is talking about the angels. These stars or angels that came down to earth and slept with women bare children. These children were called Nephilim in the Hebrew, or Nephilim, or Nephilim. So these Nephilim had children. And these children, through time, linked in with the children of Esau in Genesis 36 chapter. Not all the Edomites that they mixed with. They only mixed primarily with the sons of Eliphaz and bear who we call today Amalek. Amalek is the father of Zepho, who's in the book of Jasher, came over into Europe and ended up opening a way for the rest of the Edomites to go into Europe, getting the high ground, taking parts of the Caucasus Mountains, and eventually ruling under Philip and Alexander the Greek, which were part Nephilim and part human. Like the Greeks call it, sons of the gods. Then the Romans continued in this same vein. And through these secret societies, they keep their bloodline pure. They do not let their blood mix with any other people. Herod the Great was one of these, all the way down to the Bush line. And even Barack Obama on his mother's side is related to Herod the Great. Now, we're going to prove to you beyond any shadow of a doubt there's no such thing as planets once more. But I wanted to say that you can look up there and see the stars, because the stars are there. There's no such thing as Mars. There's no such thing as Jupiter. These planets were named, or these stars were named after gods that came to the earth and were punished by the Most High. Let's do it one more time. Let's go to Genesis 6:1. And after we're done, we can open this up for questions. That's no problem at all. If you're willing to be cordial and ask a question, we'll be willing to answer in a respectful manner. Read Genesis 6:1. Read it.
Genesis chapter 6 verse 1. And it came to pass,
Go ahead.
when men began to multiply upon the face of the earth.
When men began to multiply on the face of the earth. Now this is people. When people started having children, that's what people do. Read.
And daughters were born unto them.
So that's people. Read.
Verse 2. That the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men, that they were fair.
So the sons of the Most High, which here are the angelic forces, saw those daughters and seen that they looked good. Read.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair.
And did what?
And they took them wives of all which they chose.
And they went and took them wives of those that they chose. Now, you can see a rendition of this on the movie intros, like Paramount, when you see those stars that come down. The stars come down from the sky through the clouds, and they go around Mount Hermon, which the Greeks call Mount Olympus. In the book of Enoch, it tells you these angels came down and they landed on Mount Hermon. And they show you this in your movies. Why? Because these are the gods that are worshipped by your movie producers. by your movie camps and your movie studios. And what people came with Hollywood. What's Hollywood? Hollywood is a Druid magic wine that was used back in Europe. It was a wood called Hollywood, which the sorcerers and witches would use to make their magic wands to cast spells on people. They got all this technology from the fallen angels. So they came down and slept with women. Read.
And they took them wives of all which they chose.
Go ahead.
And the Most High said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Go ahead.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
Now, after this happened, after the angels slept with women, there were what?
There were giants in the earth in those days.
That's where giants came from. That's where giants originate. That's their origin. They came from angels and women. They called Nephilim in the Hebrew, which means giants. Read.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that.
And also after that, to show you it happened after the flood again. Therefore, you had the Nephilim or giants in the land of Canaan when Moses and the Israelites left Egypt to go into the land of Canaan. These are the powers that have been fighting against us since the beginning of time. Satan's seed. Read.
When the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them.
They bared what?
And they bare children to them.
How do we know they're angels? Let's do it one more time. Let's go to Job. One and 6. Job 1 and 6.
Job chapter 1 verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Most High.
When the sons of God came to present themselves before what?
Before the Most High.
Like to see, okay.
Before the Lord.
Before the Lord. So as you can see, the sons of God came and presented themselves before the Most High. This do not happen on earth. These sons of God came to present themselves before the Father. They do this at the heavenly throne. Read.
And Satan came also among them.
At this time, Satan had power to go to the throne. Read.
Verse 7. And the Most High said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Where are you coming from, Satan? Go ahead.
Then Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth.
I'm coming, here it is, I was to and fro in the earth. So if Satan is to and fro in the earth, where was he before he came before the Father? In the earth. So where are they? In the heavenly realm. Who is he with? The sons of God. So the angels are called the sons of God too. There's more. Go to 2 Peter 2 and 4. And those who would like to follow this, you can write these scriptures down in succession, together and precept it. See, the Catholic Church did not want to tell you that these were angels, for it would have exposed the gods they worship when they light their candles to these different saints and these different gods. These are fallen angels. Read.
2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
If he did what?
For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
If the Most High spared not the angels that sinned. Now we know that angels are not supposed to sleep with women. Why? Because they are eternal. There's no need for reprocreation. That was their sin. Coming down and sleeping with women. Read.
But cast them down to hell.
So what happened to them after that?
But cast them down to hell.
But cast them down to hell. So it tell you in the book of Enoch that the angel came and bound these fallen angels in the desert Judea, cast them into hell. So that's where they are. Read.
And delivered them into chains of
And
darkness.
delivered them where?
And delivered them into chains of
So
darkness.
they're in chains of darkness. They're waiting there for their final judgment. They're waiting in hell for their final judgment. These are the gods who are worshipped in the underworld by the Romans and the Greeks. These are the gods that are worshipped in the earth. Who's keeping them alive? Their children, who are demons in the earth today. There was no place in the heavens for them, the children of these of the angels, and there was no place in Hades for them. So they became demons in the earth. Who do they teach man to reverence? Their fathers, the fallen angels, the gods. These are the powers that are fighting against us today. They're cast into hell. Read.
To be reserved unto judgment.
So they're there until Christ judged them after the 1,000-year reign. That's what the Bible says. They're there until the judgment. That's the Bible. There's more. Go to the book of Jude. Read Jude, the 6th verse. You can find Jude next to Revelations. Before Revelations. The 6th verse, read it.
Jude, verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate.
And the what that kept not their first estate?
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
The people that kept not their first estate.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
The angels which kept not their first estate. Where is the estate of angels? In the heavens. Estate is where you live. So the angels who left their habitation, read.
But left their own habitation.
They left their what?
But left their own habitation.
They left the place they lived, which is the heavens. Read.
He hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
Now, is the Bible lying? So how can we say it's people? Someone lied to us in Christian theology by telling us these were the children of Seth that slept with the children of Cain. Why would they purposely lie in doctrine when the Bible clearly tells us these are angels? Why? To hide the gods they are worshiping. And these gods are exalted and worshipped, but not just by the Roman Catholic Church and the religions today. They're worshipped through government and symbolism. There's symbols on your cars, symbols in Washington, D.C., symbols through all these governments, which are vortexes, which is windows where gods can come in and out throughout the whole earth and be worshipped by government powers. Now, there's one guy that speaks of this to some degree in Europe named David Icke, but he's also a plant. Why? He goes into reptilians and what's going on in Mars. So he's actually set there as a diversion because he has information that you can totally point to and say, well, this guy could be a crackpot. That actually demeans the good information he has by going into shape shifting and all that. Not saying that it's not so, but he goes into millions of years, and then he goes into the saying that we are gods, and he leads people with this little truth about the family bloodlines. He leads them into the New Age movement to show you he's a plant. He knew that we would find out this information, but now he's still turning you into the New Age movement. And he don't relate these people to who they really are. He's a plant too. But this is talking about the angels that sin. This is not talking about people, children of Seth sleeping with the children of Cain. That's madness. Not once did I read that happened in the Old Testament. It's not in the book of Jubilees. It's not in the book of the Bible. It's not in the book of Jasher. And that details of Seth's children sleeping with Cain is not in the book of Enoch. and it's not in Genesis. So where did they get this from? They're hiding. They're hiding the truth. Read it.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary definition for children of God. Children of God, angelic beings.
They're what?
Angelic beings.
In the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it tells you the children of God are angelic beings. Where's that? Let me put this up here so they can see it. Right where my finger is in the middle. See it underlined? Children of God, angelic beings. See, we have to expose this because Paul said that man of sin must be revealed. That man of sin must be revealed. See, we're living in a time of science, DNA technology, and you don't know the importance of this. The angels' line have now tainted mankind. The children of Satan have linked into a group in this earth who are ruling this earth. Therefore, they are not the Most High's original creation. So they don't care about creation. They'll kill off anything. Why? Because they're of the hybrid seed that happened before the flood. Like in the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. They shall be married and given in the marriage. It's not just talking about us partying. It's talking about angels sleeping with women. That's who did the wicked marriages in Genesis 6. We're living in the time of hybrid beings and mixed species like we were during the time of Noah. Now, should this information get anybody cancer? Should we be taken down by just teaching truth in history and upholding and backing up the Bible? The same Bible in which America said their principles was built off of? More. We say there's no such thing as planets. Number one, if you are dealing with astrology, which means your horoscope sign, you are actually worshiping one of the demons or one of the gods, one of the angels that was bound during the time of Noah, during the time of Enoch. The zodiac sign itself is satanic, and it's a diversion, and it actually tricks you into following a demon that's over your month. That's who you worship. That's who you're dealing with. It's what Paul called involuntary worshiping of angels. The zodiac signs have nothing to do with the Most High. Zero. Let's get it. Let's get 2 Kings, the 23rd chapter, in the 5th verse. 2 Kings 23 and 5. Now we're going into this particular scripture to show you that at one point Dan set up groves in Israel after we fell in the northern kingdom, and Judah and the Israelites tried to construct a righteous kingdom by taking these groves and these wicked symbols out of Israel. Now when you see a grove is a man's phalanx or private part, like your Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. All these symbols were worshipped in the past. Read 2 Kings 23 and 5. Read it.
2 Kings, chapter 23, verse 5. And he put down the idolatrous priests, whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high places in the cities of Judah, and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that burn incense unto Baal.
Who did they burn incense to?
Also that burn incense unto Baal.
They burn incense unto Baal. Now, brothers and sisters, I need you to start really looking at these high buildings all over the world. that's set up through corporations. And a lot of these buildings, at the top of these buildings, it looks like altars. And when the clouds are out, when you look beyond the clouds, it looks like some type of lightning is going on. They're doing all types of evil and wicked practices in these corporate buildings. That's what they're doing. The same thing they did back then to these same guys. Read.
Them also that burn incense unto the hour, to the sun.
And they started burning incense to the sun. Go ahead.
And to the moon.
And to the moon. And to what?
And to the planets.
And to the planets. Now, when you look at the word planets in the Hebrew, and I'm going to give it out to you again in the Hebrew, in your Strong's Concordance, it's 4280, which is Mazalah. So planets in the Hebrew don't even start with the P. There's no such thing as planets when you link in the Hebrew. It's Ma-Nazah. Okay, it's Ma-Taziah. Excuse me, Ma-Taziah, which breaks down to constellation and zodiacal sign. Let me repeat it. Constellation and zodiac sign. So there is no planets out there. The constellations are stars. These stars have been worshipped through society. And the people that control your government and control your corporations worship these gods. Therefore, they put the symbols and names of their gods on their product, like Lucid Technology, like your Saturn cars, or Chrysler cars, or your Dodge Ram. All these names, the Ram is what? It's the Aquarius sign. All these symbols worship the gods as dealing with the fallen angels and Satan himself. So the word planets breaks down to Ma-Taziah, which is constellation or zodiac sign. There is no planets out there. Those are all stars. They're lying to you. The only reason they're out there is to build their military force for the second coming, to try to fight in the battle of Armageddon. That's the only reason they're out there. They're not out there looking for other planets. They come up with these stories and these lies to keep you diverted, so that you don't get alarmed with spending billions of dollars out in space. So they have to give you a story. Oh, we think we found another planet. And they'll give you some image they made up in a computer to divert you from what they're really trying to do. The Bible tell you what they're doing. They're building a space station. How do we know this? They're building space military. How do we know this? Because the military program is your space program. Your space program is controlled by the Pentagon and the military. Militaries fight. That's what they do. They don't explore to see if there's another planet. So we're talking about constellations and zodiac signs. That's what we're talking about here. Go back to the book of Jude and read the 13th verse. Go back to the book of Jude, before Revelation, and let's read the 13th verse.
Jude, verse 13. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars.
So these is what came down to earth. They were what?
Wandering stars.
They were wandering stars because they wandered from their original habitation. Their original habitation was the heavens. Where did they wander to? Earth. What did they do when they wandered to earth? Took wives and bare children. Their children were Nephilim. See how easy that is? Wandering stars. Now let's look into the Greek so that you can look at this yourself and see who are these wandering stars. Wandering comes from the Greek word 4107 in the Greek. What does that say in the Greek?
Planetes.
Planetes, which is planets. Wandering is planets. Now, so you want to tell me that Mars was a planet that came down and became a person and walked around? So this is telling you that it's wandering. Planet comes from the word wandering, to show you that an angel or a star came down, and now he's being worshipped as Mars, Saturn, Zeus, Jupiter, so on and so on. They thought we weren't going to put this together. And they keep these gods alive through their wicked and evil science. Because your universities tell you that those planets are there, you believe they're there. And what you're doing, you're reverencing the gods of the people who have constructed and paid for that university. They're sorcerers. Scientists are sorcerers. They're wizards. See, the warlocks left the dark rooms and the black long hats and the black robes and put on a white coat and a white jacket and a nice suit. These are modern day sorcerers controlling technology in our schools. So through science, they make you believe there's planets. And here's the catch-22 with this. They'll tell you, well, we can't believe in anything that we can't see. Science has to be proven. Okay, if that's the case, buddy, since you're a scientist, did you see the Big Bang? Did you see the Big Bang? So how can you tell me the Big Bang happened? You believed it happened, right? Okay, so now you've made science your religion. You see how simple this is? They take you away from believing the God of the Bible by trying to use science against the Bible. But then, in turn, they have you acknowledge that you've been here, that the earth been here 1 million years, and that you have to acknowledge astrology and the planets and all those things out in space. So they really trick you from believing in the God of the Bible into worshiping Zeus, Jupiter, Mars, and the gods of the Romans and Greeks. It's that simple. Wandering what? In Jude 1 and 13.
Wandering stars.
Wandering what?
Wandering stars.
Wandering stars. These stars wandered to the earth and had children. Read.
To whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
So that's their future. They will have the blackness and darkness forever. When Christ come back to judge them, they will be thrown into the abyss forever. That's their future judgment. So now you have the children of these giants as demons and spirits being worshipped by government officials and powers in the earth under a club called the Masonic Illuminati, the Luciferian doctrine. So because these demons have a problem with their father being bound and the fact that their father didn't get another chance, they don't feel that God's people deserve another chance. So they promote sin so they can point to the Most High and say, look at your children sinning. And demoralizing the world and poisoning and killing God's creation because their fathers did not receive a second chance. Even though they petitioned for a chance. They petitioned the Most High in the book of Enoch, and Enoch had to give them their judgment and tell them what would happen to them and their children. And they felt that that was unfair. Therefore, now the Illuminists control the world. They control the governments. They control your entertainment. And they have your musicians and singers singing about Lucifer going back into heaven because he need another chance instead of him burning like in your video Runaway by Kanye West. They promoting Lucifer going back to the throne like it says in Isaiah. To sit down at the throne like Lucifer deserved another chance. So because Lucifer and the fallen angels are not getting their second chance, they don't believe we should have a chance. So they're destroying God's creation. Every area of this earth is being destroyed. The waters, the food, the soil. Even our blood and molecular structures are being changed by the food we're eating and the air we're breathing. Why? Because they are in charge. Matthew the 24th chapter says, and it says explicitly, if the Most High did not cut days short, none of us would be saved. It's through the blood of Christ. His blood is going to clean us. And we have to proclaim this, the truth of Christ, Yeshua. We have to use his name. We have to proclaim Ahia and use his name. Those are the names that we need to pray to and ask to help us in this time of trouble. We're going to be squeezed more and more. We will be censored more and more. We will be destroyed physically. They will try to bend and break us and make us bow to Satan. They want us to deny the Father that made us. And we'll stand. We'll stand. And even if it means death, because we realize in the original creation with Adam, man was not meant to die. This is just a curse. So why should we be scared of it? We will live forever. We will live forever. This curse will be off of us soon. So, death, where is your victory? Satan have used the fear of death to put us in bondage. And if you kill enough of us, who's going to fight your wars? That's why we want to wake our brothers and sisters up and say, listen, receive death first before you fight this wicked system and lose your physical life and your soul. And I want to say this. It's no problem, brothers and sisters, if you don't believe what we're teaching. You have your right. During the time of the disciples, during the time of Christ, everyone didn't believe the same thing. Christ died for the believers as well as the unbelievers. He died for the righteous as well as the sinners. So we're not here to try to prove that we're right and everyone else is wrong. We're just here to proclaim the truth in the day of our Lord and let everyone know the kingdom is at hand. And whether you hear or forbear, the truth will stand. If something that we're teaching is incorrect, and we have never taught anything that is incorrect, if it can be proven that it's incorrect, we'll humbly change it or get up and admit that we were wrong and teach what's right. But everything we're teaching, brothers and sisters, is 100% correct. You can try to attack us personally. You can say things about us, try to destroy our character, whatever the case is. You cannot deny what's coming out of these scriptures are true. So I wanted to prove this and show this before we open this up for questions. All right? And Lawyer, you can give them a brief understanding of what we'll be going into tomorrow.
Basically tomorrow we'll be going into a lesson called the relationship between the Jews and Africa. Basically going into the...
Shalom. Okay, we praise the Most High and Ahia in the name of Yeshua. We want to welcome you brothers and sisters back to another class on a Sabbath. We just have to bunker down, and no telling how long they will allow us to be able to do this. But we will bunker down and do it until the end. Those who have been following this channel see that there's an orchestrated effort against the work as far as YouTube is concerned. YouTube lately have been canceling pages and have been canceling our pages, and I want to put it out there for the record and show the true reason they have been canceling pages first and foremost. and then we'll go into the lesson. Now, why would they want to cancel our page? I have no idea. Maybe someone out there can answer these questions. Since we've been on YouTube, we use no profanity, no vulgarity. We don't speak any hatred towards anyone personally. What we do is tear down any doctrine that exalts itself against Christ. And since we were born in a country that so-called give us the right of free speech and the right to religion and the freedom to worship as we wish, that's a high-level censorship, because we don't, like for instance, they might say that we are offending the YouTube community, when the YouTube community doesn't mind a 12 or 13-year-old little girl with a thong with her hands on the floor shaking for all types of rapists and pedophiles who might be out there, looking to probably harm this young lady. There's no DHS going to the parents of these houses, or no type of investigation on these houses. A matter of fact, YouTube promote this type of vulgarity, and they promote this type of wickedness within their community. If there's YouTube videos of gangs going out to fight people and hit people and hurt people and knock them down and assault people, that's entertainment. YouTube allows that with no problem. Since we've been on, the things we've been teaching is true history, and you can censor it, but it doesn't matter. The Spirit of the Most High is going to wake up His elect, and He was waking up His elect before YouTube. Let's make this clear. I found out I was an Israelite before there was ever a such thing as YouTube. But what YouTube is trying to do, they're trying to stop others from understanding what's going on in the earth and the threat that government powers and religious powers have against people. People don't know they're in a war. So what the Gathering of Christ have done since the beginning, all praise to Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya, we were able to take the knowledge down to a base level in which it doesn't matter what your education is, what your understanding is, or what your belief is. We can give you the information in a way in which you can digest it and understand it, and then your eyes are open. Once that happens, you become a threat to the powers that have been trying to destroy you for years. What have we done wrong? First of all, the first thing I would think that they claim we do wrong is incite racism. First of all, we don't incite racism, and don't come to us about racism when I can just type KKK into the YouTube browser and find every hate group that have done all types of wickedness and evil against our people since day one. Since the first boat landed in the southern parts of America, these groups have been destroying our people. So don't say that you're standing for racial upliftment and togetherness when I can type in KKK and find all types of groups that have been destroying our people, and yet these groups are promoted on YouTube. We haven't taught any hatred. What we taught was the people in slavery, or that are slaves, are written of in the Bible. That's not racist. That's not against anyone. That's not attacking anyone. What we're doing is giving people back what the world and societies have stripped from them. Now, if your preachers and pastors and religious leaders would just go into the Bible and explain one of the most paramount parts of world history, slavery, then this would not be controversial at all. You can't say one of the greatest events, one of the biggest and most terrible events that have happened within the earth since mankind have existed, a paramount part in history, which was the transatlantic slave trade, is written nowhere in the Bible. So if people would address these issues, then this information we're bringing wouldn't be so controversial. You can't tell me that I should acknowledge what went on in World War II with Hitler and the other Europeans who fought each other, and acknowledge that and try to link that up in Bible prophecy, and not have us look into the Bible and say, well, hold up, if they're trying to say that the Holocaust was in the Bible, why can't we explain what happened to us? Is that anywhere? Is that in the Bible? Can we relate to that? So it's wrong if we try to find ourselves. See, but the problem is, they know what we're teaching is true. If we do find ourselves and understand that we are the people written of in the Bible, then the hand points at those who have oppressed and destroyed us. That's not our fault. We're not here to attack other people. We're here to bring the truth. And if the truth exposes who lied to us, let the truth stand. So be it. If anything, if there's powers out there that disagree with this information, they have the same right with a camera and YouTube to show that everything that we're bringing forth out of the Bible is incorrect. They have that right. You all can just get your scholars together, your historians together, and get your rabbis together and show that the Negroes in America and the Indians in North America and the Puerto Ricans and Mexicans show that these people are not the children of the Israel of the diaspora. Show it. And then this would go away. Prove it. We have shown not only the physical side of what's happening in the earth according to the Bible as far as who the people are, we've also, according to the Most High, exposed the spiritual powers who have been leading the charge against God's people, which is the Roman Empire. Paul spoke of them. The disciples spoke of them. And we also show the fact that this Roman Empire infiltrated the church and now became the Roman Catholic Church and attacked the same people that was destroyed in 70 AD. And we are the people that ran into Africa, that lived in Jerusalem. Now, how can this be wrong, what we're teaching? How can this be so insidious to the point where you would have to erase our sites over and over again? What's so wrong about this? If this is lies, lies will undo themselves. If this is untruth, you will let lies go on. Of course, the Eddie Long situation, all these things you allow to be on YouTube, but you don't want this information out. Why? There's another reason they're erasing our channel. There's brothers with the intellectual prowess and the understanding according to the Bible. They have the understanding and the intellectual prowess to break this down with the history. But they use racial slurs and they curse people out. So you'll let that happen because their actions actually demean the information. So you will allow that to continue. But if someone bring this in a way in which the base person can understand it, as well as the intellect, and they can give it to their own families and understand slavery, this is a threat to a society which was built off of slavery. So, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't said anything wrong. We've identified the powers that operate in this earth that continue to destroy the earth under Satan through the Most High, Ahaya, Bahashem, Yeshaya, and that's another reason they wanted to take down the page. Up until this time, in the end, no one had come out with the Most High's true name and exalted his name above all gods. So they have to get that out of the way. And let me tell you, them taking us down, some people may be on the other side and thinking, well, it's a victory. I'm glad they're gone. It's a victory. Let me tell you, the victory, it belongs to the Most High. Because all in all, this is going to show people that the truth have been revealed in the earth. When the Most High says that there will be a famine in the earth, not of bread and water, but hearing the word of the Most High. You're going to erase people that have not cursed anyone out, have not demeaned anyone, have not did anything to anyone, and brought forth scriptures in Bible study and history so that the people of the Bible can get back their heritage. And because of this, they are a threat to society. This is going to wake a lot of people up. And even if you never see us again, the Spirit will mobilize these people to continue to understand what's going on and to rise as a people, because the Most High spoke it. It was written of in the Bible. And it was written of right here. We exalt Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya to the end. We exalt his baptism. And we exalt spreading the truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And then our Lord will return. Maybe some people might feel a certain type of way because according to the Bible, it says that Christ was a man of color. That shouldn't be offensive at all, especially in a society that promotes a Caucasian Christ. That means you'd have to go to every YouTube site and every web page throughout the earth that have a picture of Cesar Borgia, which is the white rendition of Christ, and actually banish that from any type of public viewing. If what you're saying, if you're saying what, you know, the fact that we're claiming that he's a man of color, if you're saying that's wrong and incite racism, then you must go to the other side that started racism by putting up a Caucasian Christ. We didn't start this. Okay, number one, we did not drag ourselves over to America or over into the European transatlantic slave trade voluntarily. We did not get on the ships and volunteer for captivity. Okay, that didn't happen. So it was up to us after losing everything. It was our job, according to the Most High, to find ourselves because we lost ourselves in captivity. What's so wrong about that? We did not put up a white image of Jesus Christ. We read the Bible like our preachers and like our parents told us to. And the Bible told us that the Jews and Christ were people of color. We didn't go down and go into the churches and start ripping down white images. We just started reading and talking. When is it in America, a free society, when does talking and freedom of speech become so wrong? You know when it becomes wrong? When it tear down lies. For years, we've been exalting the Tetragrammaton as the infallible name of the Most High. Then we found out when you break down Hebrew and get outside the English that the Tetragrammaton came from Europe. And the Tetragrammaton is a code name for Satan himself under Masonic rule. We didn't do this. We just read and understand it now. So we don't exalt the Tetragrammaton. So because we don't agree with the Talmud, because we don't agree with Babylonian worship, because we don't agree with satanic worships and holidays, because we exalt the Bible and believe in the Bible, we're canceled. Something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong. When a person or people can exercise their freedom of religion and be ridiculed and censored for it. Now, somebody might say, well, it's because you don't agree with other people's religion. No one in any religion agrees with someone else's religion, or they would be in that religion. Common sense. You're not taking down Muslims because they're not Christians. You're not taking down Christians because they're not Muslims. And they disagree. You're censoring truth. But the people are not, the people have awakened. This next generation are smarter than the last generation. They're smarter. Why? Because they have access to information and technology, and they can read anything they want 24 hours a day, and you can't pull a computer away from these children. They're smarter than the past generations. So they will find the truth. They're not going to follow the traditions and the satanic worships of their parents. They look at their parents, they see the end result of their parents following these religions, and things are still not working for them. They're looking for a new way. And you're trying to stop it. But you can't stop the power of the Most High. So that's just my address to the YouTube community and those that are on YouTube. Listen, if you never see us again, we're at the time of the end anyway. We'll see you in the wilderness. Okay? We are prepared for when there's no more computers, no more internet, no more nothing. We're just extending what we have for the people, for the small elect that might understand this and meet us in the wilderness. And you same wicked, evil societies and powers that rule YouTube and whatever things y'all bought up to think that you can control through money, you same people going to send your armies against us in the wilderness. And you're going to be in some mad trouble when that go down. Okay? Read the book of Ezekiel. When all the nations try to go against Israel in the wilderness, and the Lord sent a savior to take down your armies in the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's not talking about people coming up against the people in Israel today. That's talking about the chosen people, the elect, the small percent that will be in the wilderness in total relaxation and comfort while you blowing yourself to hell and back all over the earth. That's us. Then something's gonna come into your mind. Gog and Magog and all you other armies over there are gonna say, you know what? Let's stop fighting against each other. Let's go against those that are in rest in towns without walls. That will be your biggest mistake. The fact that we found out, we the children of Israel, we have cleaved back to our father Ahiah, who split the Red Sea and actually guided our people out of Egypt. We linked into that same God. We will not follow any God we received, that we have received, or our parents have received in captivity. We know the truth, and now the truth have made us free. We're not under your gods anymore. That's the first step of a free man. Religion was part of our captivity. We're not under it no more. We're not under your Roman Catholic Church anymore. We're not under your Arab and Islamic beliefs under Muhammad anymore. We're under the God of this Bible. Our government rule and government power is Christ. He's bringing a government. Okay? That's the government we love and respect. Period. So, we wanted to put that out and address the brothers and sisters on that. And now we can go into the class, and we'll be glad to answer any questions after the class is done.